Sporting bodies want you to believe that football and politics do not mix. But when tens of thousands of innocent people are being killed, that's impossible to ignore. Who are the football clubs and the players standing up and giving voice to the people of Gaza? Hello and welcome to Roundtable. I'm Enda Brady. Since October last year, some footballers and fans have shown their solidarity with Gaza. Now, with a major tournament underway, Palestinian players are taking to the pitch for their fellow citizens.
Scenes of support for Palestine's opening Asia Cup match against Iran. Striker Mahmoud Wadi found out his cousin had been killed the day before the game.
We need to be here to make them proud of us, because that moment is very important for us to make them proud and to make them happy.
For these players, this tournament is about much more than football.
We're carrying the message of a people who are being subjected to genocide. Everyone is seeing what's happening in Gaza specifically and in Palestine in general.
Thousands of miles away, Celtic fans are showing solidarity. Many continue to fly Palestinian flags, even after the Scottish club was fined $19,000 and some have been banned from the stadium.
I think the biggest issue is nobody seems to understand why it's a problem. Why is it a problem to fly a Palestinian flag? It wasn't a problem to fly a Ukrainian flag.
It's true that many stadiums projected images in blue and yellow, and players wore armbands and held signs to highlight Ukraine's situation. But pro-Palestine support can be career-ending. Nice player Yousef Alhelou was given an 8-month suspended sentence and fined $49,000 over a social media post that the court said provoked hatred on the grounds of religion. And Anwar El Ghazi was suspended, then sacked by his German club Mainz over posts he made on social media. In response, he wrote, "Stand for what's right, even if it means standing alone. The loss of my livelihood is nothing when compared to the hell being unleashed on the innocent and vulnerable in Gaza." And as the suffering continues, will others join in and stand for what's right?
Well, let's meet our guests. Joining me from Madrid is the football journalist Leyla Hamed. Mohammad Dajani is a Palestinian football performance coach at the Dutch team, AFC Ajax. He joins us from Amsterdam. And here with me in the studio is the freelance Palestinian journalist Yousef Alhelou. Great to see you all. Leyla, I'll come to you first. What an incredible achievement to be winning football matches, getting through to the knockout stages of a tournament against the backdrop of everything the Palestinian players and their families have been through.
Well, like you say, these players have had a remarkable resilience throughout the knockout stages. They have pretty much represented what the Palestinian cause and the Palestinians have shown on the ground in Gaza. Determination and self-belief, especially how the way they have bounced back in the tournament after a rough start against Iran. It's actually incredible. I don't think we have ever witnessed players and a team competing in a tournament under the pressure they are doing it. We are talking about a team that is being directly affected by the ongoing Israeli aggression in Palestine. These players, many of them have family in Gaza and in the West Bank and occupied territories. They have friends, they have fellow colleagues from the same profession that have been targeted directly by the Israeli forces. In a report, if I'm not wrong, in mid-December, made by the Palestinian Football Association, the report said that 55 footballers have been killed since the 7th of October until mid-December, and 18 of these were just children. We can even imagine the whole trauma that this means for the players, for the whole athletes world. I can recall also, I wanted to talk about him, Hani al-Masri, a Palestinian football legend that was killed in an Israeli airstrike recently. He was such an important figure for the Palestinian football world and athlete world in general. And we barely saw any demonstrations of solidarity from Western media or football across the world and Europe. Not a single moment of silence in his honor.
That's a very good point, actually. Mohammed, we've seen so much death and destruction and tragedy, and Hani al-Masri losing his life in an airstrike by the Israelis. I mean, what we're seeing from this Palestinian team is extraordinary resilience to keep going.
100%. You know, I will talk a lot about football, and I will talk about the Palestinian football especially. If you go and you compare both leagues, Israeli League and Palestinian League at the moment, you would see that the Israeli League is still going. All the activities are on, but the Palestinian League has stopped. But even though the Palestinian players, they are still competing, they are still winning, they are still giving 100%. Most of the players, they have friends, they have family members that has been killed in the last 3 months. But they are still going. I've been talking with some of them lately, and they just say the same thing. We are here for a reason. We are not here just to be champions or to just compete in football. We are here to please the people. We are here to let the world know more about Palestine. And even though that we don't have a league, we haven't been playing football regularly in a normal basis, in top level basis for the last 3 months, but we still can compete. And that is the real message for us, in my opinion, and for the whole world.
Yousef, first of all, just give us an update on your family. We know you are from Gaza and your family, your parents are still there.
The situation is still catastrophic. For the past 111 days, this genocide is ongoing, and it seems there is no end in sight to see an end to this misery. Now, my family miraculously survived the past 111 days, and I pray that they will be safe, because each time and then, each moment, we hear sad news, bad news, people are being starved in Gaza.
You're very familiar with the football pitches of Gaza. We've seen the Israeli army use them as detention centres. We've seen football pitches bombed, taken out of commission, places where children normally would feel safe to go and play. I mean, in the Western world, we just cannot get our heads around what is happening to the youth of Palestine.
There is no place is immune from Israeli attacks. When I was a kid, I used to play in the Yarmouk Stadium in the heart of Gaza City. And we've seen those heartbreaking and shocking scenes and videos of those pitches being used as detention centers and also a graveyard. Many footballers have been killed so far. Now, sport is an important element of our society. The world has been inspired by the steadfastness of the Palestinian people and by also the resilience of the football team that insisted to play despite the unprecedented and abnormal situation. And Palestine is a beacon of steadfastness, and emotions were running high during those football matches.
Do you feel Palestine is now everyone's second favourite team in the tournament after their own country?
I think if it comes to some nations, I think they would allow Palestinian team to win. I think, the Palestinian team, seeing the Palestinian flag, the kufiya in the stadiums in Qatar. I was present also during the World Cup in Qatar 2 years ago. And everybody is inspired. I think we would like to see the world supporting the Palestinian sport.
Leyla, I'm curious about the media coverage of the Palestine football team, because when Russia went to war with Ukraine, there were Ukrainian flags everywhere. We saw people dedicating goals to Ukraine. If Ukraine had got through to the knockout stages of a European Championships, it would be all over the media. And today, I notice very little coverage in the Western media of the Palestinian team's achievements so far.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it. The silence from media and football war in general has been just really disappointed. For me, as a journalist that covers football, as a long life football fan, it's been nothing but disappointing. I believe if Ukraine got through, it will be all over the media, just in the same way that we saw an enormous solidarity from all stadiums, from even FIFA itself, which on contrast with the support shown for Palestine, We have seen players like Anwar El Ghazi, who got his contract terminated by Mainz over posting supporting for Palestine. We saw other players like Mohammad El also posting in support of Palestine and being warned by teams. We saw fans at stadiums getting kicked out for wearing a Palestine hoodie, a flag. So the difference has been huge. I'm here in Spain currently now, and I haven't seen any news about the Palestinian football team yet.
That's a good point, Mohammed, isn't it?
100%. You know, just 6 months ago, I have been in the Norwegian top league. I have been performance coach in one of the clubs in the Norwegian top league. And for the last 2 years, it was the situation of Ukraine and Russia. And suddenly the Norwegian FA, they decided that we need to have the armband with the Ukrainian flag. And I just refused. I said, I will not do that. And all the players, all the staff, they were like, why you are refusing to do that? And I said, just 2 days ago, there was some huge bombing in Gaza and nobody's even talking about it. And now you want me as a Palestinian, I am part of this staff, I'm part of this league, that to have just the Ukrainian armband and to go on the front of the TV and my people are just have been killed. I will refuse that. And then we had a big discussion, which was actually a positive discussion. And I said, why you are doing this? Do you recognize my country? Do you recognize my people that they have been killed? They said, yes, but Ukraine is closer to us than your country. And that is the main issue. The Western world, they don't see us that much.
Mohammed, Leyla mentioned some of the players there. Anwar El Ghazi having his contract terminated. Anyone who has shared anything about the Palestinian people on social media has paid a price. How does that make you feel, knowing that professional football seems to have double standards?
This is the toughest part. You know, if you go to Anwar now and you just ask him, I think he had a big dream since he was a kid to be a top footballer and to play in one of the best leagues in the world. And he has achieved that. And imagine after he just writes something about Palestine, that he's not even talking against the other side, which is Israel. He's not talking about them. He's just mentioning his solidarity to Palestine. He's getting he got his contract just terminated. So that is the biggest problem. Even me, myself, I am here, I'm performance coach in the Western world and in one of the best leagues. Many times, I think 100 times before I want to write anything about my people. I can't share a story, I can't write any comments because I'm concerned about how they're gonna look at me, and more than what they're gonna, what my feeling is important for them. And that is the toughest part, because they want, at some moment, they want to, I would say, to separate politics from sports. But at other sides, they want the sport to affect politics. And that, I think, is a big topic.
Very interesting point Mohammed makes there, Yousef. I want to talk about a situation we have in my home country of Ireland. Robbie Keane was the greatest goal scorer we've ever produced, 69 international goals. He has now gone to Israel to manage Maccabi Tel Aviv, and he has not left. He has stayed there. Now, a politician called Mary Lou MacDonald is the leader of Sinn Féin. I want to read a quote to you from her. She's quite likely to be the next leader of Ireland after elections this year. Now, she was asked about Keane staying in Israel and managing there, and she said, people say sport and politics should not mix. I say sport and genocide should not mix. That was her take on it. I mean, has she got a point?
Of course, indeed. You know, our Irish stance has been always pro-justice, pro-Palestine, because of the similarities, the historical similarities that we have gone through together. I think at this critical time, taking part or supporting Israel's genocide or stances is complicity, and this must not happen. I would like also to highlight the stark geographical separation between Gaza and the West Bank. Some of the teams, they cannot meet inside Palestine, they have to meet outside. And also the fans, the Palestinian fans, cannot attend the Asia Cup right now because of the restrictions of the movement. We don't have an airport or seaport. We have to travel to Cairo, from Cairo to the outside world. So it's only the diaspora, fans of the diaspora, they can support the Palestinian team. So going to Israel to perform artistic events, academic institutions, exchange of all sort, I think at this time, it's a letdown. It's a stab in the back. And this is really
So if you were speaking to Robbie Keane today, what would you say to him? He says that he's a football man. These are his words, not mine. And he said he'd only answered this question once. He said, I'm here for football. I'm a football man. And that's it. There are loads of other clubs to manage.
I would say to him that you are standing against the tide. I think you have taken the wrong stance. The whole world has been calling for ceasefire and supporting Palestinians' inalienable rights. And by going there, that shows that you are going against your own people, the Irish lovely people, who say no to the genocide.
And obviously a lot of the pitches, the football stadiums in the Israeli league, this is land that has been taken.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, people have to make decisions, whether you are in the right side of history or the wrong side of history. And every step people take, people will see it. I think it's a disgrace that he's doing this right now.
Leyla, what's your opinion? Robbie Keane managing a club in Israel. I mean, it's quite a stance to take, isn't it, given everything we've seen?
I think it's actually horrible. Like, there's no way in the genocide that we are witnessing live that you remained neutral. You can't remain neutral against genocide. And by being there and staying there, he is actually supporting somehow what is going on and not speaking up. Knowing the big boys, the strong boys that he is, to not use it against what's going on in Gaza and in many occupied areas, is actually taking a chance. Is standing on the wrong side of history. And the strong boys like him, he should have the solidarity to speak out now. There's such a strong tradition, football tradition in Palestine. A voice like him is speaking up for Palestine right now in the positions he is. It will mean the world from so many children that know these legends. It will mean many things, many important things, and not saying anything and reminded there and just saying, no, I'm here for footballing reasons, is actually turning a blind eye to genocide.
Mohammad, do you feel many players are afraid to speak out publicly in support of the Palestinian people because they worry that their clubs will cancel contracts?
100%, and the first and the biggest example is Mohamed Salah. If you look at Mohamed Salah, he's known for the past years to be a huge supporter for the case. But I think, that's my own opinion, he's of course afraid, he's of course concerned. I think he has over 60 million followers on social media. Just one post from him can change a lot of things. He doesn't do it. I think it's something related to the club policy, and I think it's related to his agent policy or the agency that is controlling him, of course. And many other players, they are concerned because in their head they say, okay, this war maybe will end soon, but what about my own career? And this is the biggest problem. And I would like just to mention something about the Robbie case. I think with Robbie Keane, when he's saying I'm a football man, does he accept to go and to play a game in Ashdod with Hapoel Ashdod? For example, this is an Israeli club just, I think, 10 kilometers from Gaza. Does he accept to play a football game there, celebrating, scoring goals, and some people are getting killed just 10 kilometers away from him? I don't think so. Another point regarding this, when the war in Ukraine also started, many players, they were forbidden to play in the Russian league. Many players, I know many of them, that they were forbidden. You can't. They terminated their contracts and they left Russia. And that's you can see it in the media. Many FAs around the world, especially in Europe, they told their own players, you can't play in Russia. You have to terminate your contract.
Yousef, a lot to talk about here. Just spell out for me what life is like as a footballer then, say, in Gaza. The sheer logistics, the basics of getting to a game, going to training, seeing your physio. I mean, life is disrupted at every level, away from what has happened since October the 7th. Life, as any sports person knows in Palestine, is made extremely difficult.
It is indeed. It's abnormal situation. It's a challenge that you practice sport in Palestine, especially in Gaza, that has been under a crippling, suffocating siege for the past 17 years. Many of the equipments are denied by Israel because they justify that those equipment can be dual use. Many of those people who might need some training outside, it's difficult because Israel imposed restrictions on travel if they would like to travel to go to the West Bank and from there to Amman.
So
Jordan.
Checkpoints, just for people who haven't been there or don't understand it, military checkpoints everywhere these players are going.
Yes, checkpoints, and also it's a form of collective punishment. And those people, they have to make a decision whether they want to support their families or if they are going to be devoted and committed to play those tournaments locally and outside. And also the logistics in terms of the infrastructure. You know, all the money is coming to Gaza is being funneled and restricted and investigated. So it's very bureaucratic situations. And those people defeat all odds. They would like to continue play and to draw a smile on their the faces of their fans. I was born in Shujaiya, so I support Shujaiya football team. And I was in Gaza 1 month before this war. And I recorded a piece for myself being inside Al Yarmouk Stadium. And I saw a lot of people having fun, enjoying themselves, despite the fact many of them, even they cannot find a meal, to feed their, but they play their favorite sport, football. And many of the kids on the streets of Gaza, they have no shoes. They just, on barefoot, hurt their knees and stuff. But also there is no extra stadiums, lack of facilities. I saw people play tennis. I saw people different sports. But of course, football is the main one. And I would urge those international organizations to invest in rebuilding more stadiums and training those who have the skills. And
when all
hobbies.
of this,
yes.
God willing, passes.
Inshallah.
Leyla, tell me, the tournament as it progresses, if Palestine continues to play and win, I mean, this story will just spread the Palestinian message on a global level, won't it?
You're right. Right now, these players have the chance to continue playing the anthem at the stadiums during the Asian Cup. And it will mean for many, many fans to continue following their journey, especially those Palestinians in diaspora, the millions of them around the world that can come back to their native land. It will mean it's a huge message that they are going to portray outside the world. And surely it will get more coverage and the coverage it deserves because they deserve so. Any chance of them achieving a step forward is going to mean so much. I mean, I remember this picture I saw posted by the photographer and artist Belal Khalid from Gaza. And they were all these journalists gathering around at the Al-Nasser hospital watching the last game. So imagine if in the midst of the horror, of the attacks, of the starvation and everything that Israel government is inducing the Palestinians to, they still have time to find some joy in football. So this is actually just not a win for the team for football, but also something to celebrate, some joy coming in Gaza and for all Palestinians.
Mohammad, has this football team brought you joy in recent weeks? And I don't want to sound flippant given the utter devastation and tragic loss of life we've seen, but football has a chance to maybe take people away from all of that for 90 minutes?
Definitely. I've been talking with the guys just in the last days, and especially the players, in Qatar, and they were always mentioning one thing. They said, we are fighting so much to play more and to show ourselves more, and because we want the whole world to see the flags around the stadiums. We are afraid of one thing. They are afraid that, of course, they will not continue in the tournament, and then people will just stop talking about Palestine, or it will be less and less, because this is a peak at the moment that the Palestinian team is there and everyone is just talking about the situation. So they feel that this is an opportunity for them. This is the chance to increase, I would say, the discussion about Palestine. And this is actually what we are doing now. And their main concern is not to lose the game. Their main concern that they don't want to be away from the tournament, and then it will be less discussion about Palestine. It will be less discussion about what they have achieved. So they want to stay in the tournament as long as possible to keep this peak that we are in now about
Mohammad,
the Palestinian.
Thank you, Leyla and Yousef. Thank you all so much for your insight. Remember, you can see more discussion and debate on our YouTube channel. Just search for Roundtable TRT World. And if you like what you see, do hit that subscribe button. But for now, from me and Brady and all of the team here, goodbye and thank you for watching.